Here's what your Marvel rival main says about you. Adam Warlock. You like the idea of playing a healer, but you want that big playmaking potential that you can only get by reviving almost your entire team in one go and winning the game in a crazy photo finish. Oh, how you pray for that big revive ult every single game. You enjoy the fact that Adam is a little bit more complex than certain other healers we could mention, and you enjoy watching it all come together in the heat of combat for satisfying, well-earned dubs. Black Panther. If you're a Black Panther main, I think there's a pretty good chance you're actually solid at the game and know how to play very well. You make it a personal mission in life to dive into the backfield as often as you can to harass the enemy team like they've never been harassed before. You don't focus so much on trying to get kills as much as you do trying to be a giant pain in the ass, and unfortunately for the other team, you're good at what you do. Black Widow. One of two things is true. Either number one, you know that Black Widow ain't very good and that you could probably double your kill count by just swapping over to Hawkeye, but you don't because you feel you have something to prove and want to do just as well without the bow-wielding bastard. Or number two, you just really like the view from back there. Either way though, understandable. Captain America. So many people out there already main Doctor Strange and the Hulk. You just wanted to see what else was out there. And honestly, respect. Your dubs are hard fought and well earned. You're always super eager to try and get a deflection kill via your shield, and even though you almost never do, you still have fun trying, and that's what matters. Cloak and Dagger. There's the casual Cloak and Dagger players who hop onto the character just to F around and give their team a second healer, and then there's you. You delight in the challenge of knowing exactly when to switch back and forth between each character, when to heal, when to damage, when to buff, when to debuff. There's an unspoken art to it all that many people don't realize, but you truly enjoy trying to master it. And hey man, as long as you keep the heals coming, I fully support you and your weird min-maxing defense offense shenanigans. Go crazy. Doctor Strange. I'd say the odds are pretty good that you were a Reinhardt main in Overwatch and you thought to yourself, I'm not gonna learn a new character, I'm just picking this guy. And for the most part, it worked out for you. Oh sure, you've probably screwed up the occasional portal, but hey, who hasn't? You keep that big shield up in front of me and all is forgiven. Groot. Honestly, Groot mains are pretty based, and there's nothing better than having an awesome one on your team. Even though most players will waste their big healing walls by throwing them up in front of the enemy team, blessed be the sneaky Groots who hide their healing walls and go hard on the enemy team and wind up with truly nutty damage dealt and blocked. Hawkeye. Odds are you got one shot in a game of quick play by an enemy Hawkeye who ended up popping off, and you thought to yourself, hey, that could be me. I could be the one to ruin somebody else's day. Truth be told, you probably don't even know that Hawkeye has a triple arrow attack in his kit. Wouldn't make a difference either way though, it's about as useful as giving a fish a sewing machine. Your day of reckoning will come one day, oh Hawkeye main. But until then, I will eagerly post-game thumbs up any and every duelist main on my team that hunts you down at the back of the map like the dirty, dirty dog you are. Hela. Look, I know that Hela mains are also in the business of ruining other people's day, but hey, at least you don't play Hawkeye. That counts for me. All right, how about this? I'll look the other way about your point-and-click easy mode gameplay adventure loop if you just help me target the enemy team Iron Man. You get that 1% playboy bastard out of the sky and I'll clear my schedule and help you take over Asgard myself. Hulk. There's a chance you get a little too cocky every now and then, jumping deep into enemy territory to try and smack the nearest squishy support character around, but usually Hulk mains are pretty fun. Also, I don't know how to tell you this, but literally every player in this game starts foaming at the mouth when they see you take so much damage that you begin to revert back into Bruce Banner. It's like watching a bunch of Labradors who haven't eaten all day waiting for food to get poured into their dish. Also, if you've ever imitated the line over the mic to your teammates, I want you to know that you're my favorite kind of person. Iron Fist. You would never admit it out loud, but you started off playing Spider-Man or some other high difficulty duelist because you wanted to dive in, kick the enemy Jeff to death, then swoop out in a breathtaking display of skill. But you learned that Peter Parker was really hard to pop off with, and that guy in the yellow outfit just beat the snot out of your team, so why not give him a try? When the seasons change and you eventually lose your plus 15% damage buff, you'll suddenly decide by pure coincidence that you're kinda tired of him and want to challenge yourself by learning somebody else. Iron Man. One day you had a huge epiphany when you realized that about half the time, enemy players simply just don't look up when they fight. And so began your aerial war crime spree. Oh sure, every now and then a Hela or a Hawkeye will show up to ruin your fun, but when they're not around, you're happier than a pig in shit. You also have an extreme vendetta against Doctor Strange mains, as they've probably blocked more of your ultimates than you care to admit. Jeff the Land Shark. I mean, I could sit here and give you a hard time for willingly choosing to play one of the most hated characters in the whole roster, but honestly, what could I even say to you that you haven't already said to yourself in the bathroom mirror at 3 a.m.? You proudly brag in the post-game lobby when you get high kill matches despite the fact that you're playing a healer. Yeah, we'd all be impressed if 90% of those final blows weren't just you dragging the entire team off the map in your ult. Truth be told, you've driven more gamers to drink than EA. Loki, you wanted to play a healer, but you also have that vibe where you just have to be a little bit different and a little quirky, so you went with Loki. There's like a 2% chance that you're one of the few Loki mains out there who genuinely makes 500 IQ plays, driving the other team insane with your top level mind games, and if that is you, respect. And if you heard me say all that and you're nodding your head to yourself going, yeah, he's talking about me, I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but odds are I am not talking about you. Your team needs healing really badly, and they'd roundhouse kick a nun on Easter Sunday if it meant you'd switch to Mantis for just one game. Luna Snow. All right, we're having some fun out here today, but I am not gonna say anything bad about Luna Snow mains because honestly, they've saved my bacon more times than I can count, and nothing brightens my day faster than seeing a player insta-lock into Luna in the character selection screen. Dance on, you pop star angel healing machines. Magik. Look, don't lie to me. There's a good chance you originally picked this character based on her look alone. She's the type of bad bitch you only wish you could have pulled at the Avenged Sevenfold concert, but alas, you'll have to settle for just watching her in third person, smacking the bejesus out of the other team. And you're completely okay with that. Magneto. I feel like it's really easy to tell when you've bumped into a true Magneto main because they go hard, using their metallic curtain at exactly the right time, bubbling their teammates exactly when they need it the most, landing all their shots with perfect accuracy, and just being a huge nuisance all the time. You get incredibly giddy when there's a Scarlet Witch player on your team because it means you get to use one of the most fun team-up attacks in the entire game, and it's gonna dial your lethality up to 11 for free. Sometimes you just straight up ask the local duelist on your team if they can go Scarlet Witch, and yeah, I get it. Mantis. In a game where half the lobby tries to lock in their favorite duelist right away, praise be to those out there who make our lives easier by insta-taking Mantis. Even casual Mantis mains are appreciated, although you may have to really get their attention for some healing every now and then. But the hardcore, sweaty Mantis mains are direct gifts from a higher power, taking out divers with sleep bombs and nailing sweet kill shots from downtown, all while healing their entire team non-stop. I truly wish that all the hardcore Mantis mains out there find a surprise $20 bill in their coat pockets tomorrow. Moon Knight. You're a sneaky little bastard, studying the map you're playing on harder than you ever studied for any midterm, looking for the best possible location to put your onk. And God help the other team if they're not ready for you, because you'll drop a beast of a game on them out of nowhere. That, or they'll spot and break your onk in exactly 2 seconds, and you'll groan to yourself that you wish Moon Knight were better. Namor. I feel like there are so few discount Aquaman mains out there, but there's a good chance you enjoy playing him just because he's kind of funny. You love harassing people with turrets non-stop, even though you secretly feel like they don't last long enough, and you always get a kick out of smacking some random jabroni in the face with a whale. You always praise the local Luna Snow mains who honestly probably forget that half the time they're giving you a free buff. Peni Parker. Most of the time, Peni Parker mains are actually kind of chill, provided they're actually playing correctly on the front lines, using their webs and traps aggressively and not just hiding way in the back of the map. I think Pennies are usually kind of fun to fight against too. They're always playing their fun little game of hide the nest. It's like Where's Waldo, but with guns, and who could hate that? Psylocke. Either you immediately gravitated to this character because she admittedly has a really badass character design and you just kind of dig her whole vibe, or you are the most fearsome, godforsaken support sniping bastard to ever walk this earth. You've mastered the art of dishing out insane damage in the blink of an eye, and before the other team even realizes their Luna Snow just got railroaded, you're already cloaked and halfway across the map. When this character finally gets the gift of a seasonal damage buff, watching this community have a collective meltdown as we witness the sheer chaos will be the sight of a lifetime. Punisher. Truth be told, you know he's more boring and plain than a loaf of store-bought Wonder Bread, but his kit is straightforward and easy to use. And that's really all that matters to you. Yeah, other characters get to be all powerful deities or wacky aliens, but to you, nothing beats the power of gun. And at the very least, you have the best ultimate in the game, which never fails to bring a smile to your face as you're ripping the enemy team a new one. Rocket Raccoon. You've got kind of a silly, wacky energy, and to be honest, I'm kind of here for it. Big respect to the Rocket mains out there who managed to put up insane healing numbers, because that goofy-ass gun isn't exactly an ideal heal when compared to the other support mains out there. You also get a little bit excited when you happen to get a Groot main on your team, so you can get your dose of hee it's just like the movie power fantasy. Scarlet Witch. So you want to dish out good damage, but you can't really be bothered to do anything other than just sort of holding down M1 the entire game. Well, at the very least, you're not playing Hawkeye, so you got that going for you, I guess. Nah, for real, Scarlet Witch is fun, and even though you've been killed while popping your ult more times than you can count, at the end of the day, you have a good time playing her, and you make it work. Spider-Man. There are two types of Spider-Man mains in Marvel Rivals without exception. Absolutely, unequivocally insane gamers who fly around the map nonstop at Mach 5 and get twice the amount of kills as any other duelist in the lobby, or the guy who pulls out a decent play every now and then, but usually spends the entire match getting completely ragdolled by everyone and finishes the match with less damage dealt than the team healer. Either way, I salute you, Spidey mains. There's a good chance you just went 0-12, but I'm sure you'll get that sick clip in the very next game. Squirrel Girl. You either really like playing her because she's genuinely kind of fun and deals respectable damage, or you're, how do I put this? You're, parched, dehydrated, in need of a drink, let's say. Look, man, really happy for you that the character model got successfully mined out of the game and all that stuff. Just keep the other team off the point and we're square. Star-Lord. There's a good chance you were a Tracer main in Overwatch and thought, they're not too far apart, and decided to go for it. Either that, or you like your high-risk, high-reward acrobat flanks too much to give up, and honestly, who could blame you? Storm. Oh, how you wish she were stronger, but you still have a lot of fun playing Storm and proving the haters wrong when you flatten a team that doesn't really know how to deal with her, just because not a lot of people play Storm and know what she's about. You enjoy her ultimate a ton and look out the window longingly, waiting for that oh so important, I'm sure it's coming one day, definitely not copium character buff. Thor. Thor mains are kind of wild. I mean, look, we all get annoyed by the healer at the back of the map just out of reach, but you took that extra personally. And to be completely fair, there's really nothing better than swooping to the backline and smacking the piss out of some frail character with a hammer. It makes you forget all about how laughably easy it is to dodge your ultimate. Venom. You know, I'm a little torn here. On one hand, damn, couldn't bother to learn a harder or better tank, huh? Just had to go with the one who's basically a more chunky duelist. On the other hand, though, between you and me, I get it. Venom is cool as shit. His character design, the way he talks, the way he moves, all of it. Just don't come crying to me when the ult you popped doesn't get any kills. Again, Winter Soldier. It's really apparent when you run into a true Winter Soldier main, because when you find them, they pop the hell off immediately. Their movements flow like a beautiful river, and even though a top tier Winter Soldier will bury your team deep, you'll still giggle every time you hear him off in the distance shouting, "Again!" Wolverine. You've been bullied by enemy tank players to the point where you just went, you know what? Fuck this, and decided to go with the angry Canadian with a drinking problem, and you're never going back. And why would you? The Doctor Strange mains out here are getting too big for their britches, and by God, you're just the one to cut that ego down to size. Anything I forgot to mention? Let me know down in the comment section what addendums or flat out changes you would make for what hero. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.